NewsMan only there. Feel the groove everywhere. College spirit makes us proud. Christian voices sing out loud. Corporate giants shake with fear. Sounds beats ring far and near. Students cheer and spread the word. Sounds the one you must have heard. From the campus to the town, no one brings the station down. Independent all the way. Sam NewsMan forever stay. Sam NewsMan all be there. Feel the groove everywhere. College spirit makes us proud. Christian voices sing out loud.
You could accept the fact that the city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion. It looks plain this Old Testament there, real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies, rivers and seas boiling. 4 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes, dead rising from the grave, human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. That's hysteria.
Hot Lips Houlihan. That's right, Loretta Swit, an actress who won 2 Emmy Awards as the no-nonsense, hard-driving head nurse, Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan on MASH, one of the most popular and innovative sitcoms of all time, died yesterday at her home in Manhattan. She was 87. In a career that alternated between stage and screen, from song and dance spectacle to murder thriller, Miss Swit's dominant credit was MASH, set in a field hospital during the Korean War. She was the only significant recurring female character on the series, which aired on CBS from 1972 to 1983. Its finale drew one of the largest TV audiences of all time, 125 million people, or, at the time, almost half the country. MASH, an acronym for Mobile Army Surgical Hospital, was based on a 1968 novel by a Korean War doctor, H. Richard Hornberger, written under the pseudonym Richard Hooker. Filmmaker Robert Altman's 1970 movie, a whole smorgasbord of gory operations, sexual hijinks, and practical jokes, came to be regarded as an anti-establishment classic, a biting and timely critique of the Vietnam War, even though it remained set near the front lines in 1950s Korea. The TV series, developed in large part by veteran comedy writer Larry Gelbart, producer-director Gene Reynolds, balanced tragedy and satire. It was credited with setting a new high standard in how the half-hour sitcom could win huge ratings and maintain its farcical appeal while addressing contemporary issues such as war and gender relations. MASH became part of a formidable lineup of CBS sitcoms, foremost All in the Family and The Mary Tyler Moore Show. That pushed the format's boundaries on matters of social and topical debate. Faith relations between sexes and futility of war were all central themes on MASH, which also starred Alan Alda as the highly competent and irreverent Captain Benjamin Franklin Hawkeye Pierce. Wayne Rogers as Hawkeye's partner in mischief, the brilliant but wayward surgeon Captain Trapper John McIntyre. Gary Berghoff as the efficient Corporal Walter Radar O'Reilly. Harry Morgan as the gruff commanding officer Colonel Sherman Potter. And Jamie Farr as Corporal Maxwell Klinger, the operating room aide who cross-dressed in the in hope of winning a discharge for being mentally unfit. Miss Swit's serious demeanor, she is revolted by the piggish attitudes of the men, is undercut by her torrid affair with Lanny Linville's officious auctions and married Major Frank Burns. It's just, I'm sitting there, I'm reading this, and I'm just sitting there thinking about episodes and just moments in the series. So it's just ringing it just coming to me. You've been watching MASH forever, and it's been on forever. It was on forever. I mean, it's on now for reruns and stuff. But, as I'm sitting there, I'm reading this, and it's just the flood of memories coming back. Just the fact that her name was Hot Lips tells you how her role was conceived. In the early episodes, she is portrayed as the bossy one of the nurses, don't get along with, and she's having this affair. But her relationship with Burns, he added, is complicated by her desire for him to leave his wife in moments of comically tinged pathos where she blows up that no one likes her. She becomes much less one-dimensional and is to be given a lot of credit for evolving the character. Miss Swit, whose character demeaning nickname was eventually dropped from the series, told The Guardian in 2001, I pretty much created the character because when I started with her, she had no biography. I made her an army brat, traveling from camp to camp with daddy. He'd wanted a boy. She was trying to earn his approval. Her ambition throughout the series was to be the best damned nurse in Korea, and that motivated everything I did, even when it came to sex. Behind the scenes, as a rare woman on the set, Miss Swit said the experience could be alienating. I had to find my voice, she told an interviewer in 1988, and try to express myself in a way that would allow me to do my character and make my contribution, despite the fact that war in this particular series was male dominated. During the run of the series, Miss Swit became a household name. She eventually used her clout to champion the cause of the show's female costumes who were being paid, costumers, the female costumers, who were being paid far less than their male counterparts. The female costumers weren't getting anywhere on their own, she recalled. They needed somebody visible. I try to use my visibility to good purpose, not because it gets me into some party, but because it gets me a platform. In the 1980s, she was involved in a national effort to honor military women with a sculpture or monument near the Vietnam Veterans War Memorial on the National Mall. These women paid a price, and they continue to pay a price. And it's time we say thank you. The Federal Commission of Fine Arts, which oversees the placement of national monuments, they rejected the proposal. Born in New Jersey, November 4th, 1937, to Polish immigrant parents, she grew up on movies as a way to learn English. And by age 7, she was determined to be an actress. After MASH, Swit made a wide-ranging appearances in TV movies. For NBC, she starred as an overburdened mother in The Best Christmas Pageant Ever and a psychotic killer in Hell Hath No Fury. On Broadway, she was in The Same Time Next Year, in The Mystery of Edwin Drood. And her stage work included touring in The Vagina Monologues. She was honored for her involvement in animal protection causes and hosted a wildlife series, Those Incredible Animals, for several seasons on the Discovery Channel. She was married, ended in divorce. Miss Swift described more that her disdain for the glitz of show business perhaps stemming from an upbringing in which she felt socially estranged from many of her peers because of her precocious love of theater. It's hard to sometimes, I'm kind of going through this. This is what we call a live read, ladies and gentlemen. I had no idea. Just gets thrown up here and they say, hey, why don't you check this out? And of course I was going to do that because, I would, as we are celebrating 7 years, which we'll get to in just a minute, I thought that it was important that we did honor Loretta and her amazing career. So all my playmates would play with dolls and pretend to be mothers and have families. And I was doing Lady Macbeth. I felt peculiar. I must have felt that everyone else thought so too. So I always felt pretty estranged. For a long time, I considered that difference as bad, a negative force, she said. Of course, as an adult, I know otherwise. So I wrote a children's book called Precious about that feeling. I wanted young children to know that if you feel different, that doesn't mean you're bad or wrong. It means you are special. Loretta Swift, dead at the age of 87. Hot Lips Houlihan. Well, it's, we haven't done one of these in quite a while. And we used to do them quite often. Because we're now at a point in time where many of the actors and actresses and people that you grew up watching, it's unfortunate, but they're passing away. We were here live when Bob Barker passed away. In fact, we stayed later just to make sure that we would announce it. But it is something that needs to be addressed. So as we move in to 7 years, and this is our 7th anniversary show, I want everyone to know that we will continue to do memorial segments at the 11:05 hour when someone who we grew up with passes away. So tip of the cap, thank you, Loretta Swift, for all that you did. MASH is amazing. And what else is amazing is that I have a whole bunch of people here in the chat. Guys, it is 7 years, celebrating 7 years broadcasting from the University of Richmond. You're listening to WDCE 90.1 FM, real radio microphone over there. Setting the standard and raising the bar, the only way a real award-winning media puppet knows how to do. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam NewsMan, and this is SideShow Infotainment. That's right. SideShow Infotainment was the original title of this show. It was the show when we did this back during the early years, 2018. A drive time show where we just played vaporwave, synthwave, vapor funk. But then out of nowhere, what happened is that somebody, it was a blanket, right? No, there's no such thing as a Lord Blanket. Why do you guys keep doing that? You keep talking about this Lord Blanket thing. No such thing as Lord Blanket. Anyways, they try to say that Lord Blanket disrupted the board. Anyways, I have no idea about this Lord Blanket stuff. No such thing as a Lord Blanket trying to steal all your toys if you don't clean your room. I have no idea what that's about. But what happened was I started playing cartoon themes. And then the phone lines exploded. No, not literally, but figuratively. The phone lines exploded. And then, well, phone call after phone call, people started requesting cartoon themes. And of course, I'm sitting there thinking about all of this. Do you remember where you were as a child on Saturday mornings? You do, don't you? Right. Well, you were actually able to get up on Saturdays. Think about that for a moment, because the whole rest of the week, when you had to get out of bed and jump on the cheese wagon, that was terrible. That was like the worst. You had to get water splashed on your face just to get up out of bed. But then here comes Saturday morning. What do? You jump out of bed. You grab your favorite action figure. You run down the stairs. You go you go grab a box of sugary cereal, pour it in there, and then just sit down, plop in front of the TV for hours. The magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning. Then it was taken away from you. You know that, right? Yeah, the government. Yeah, the government took it away from you. They passed legislation during the first Bush administration. They took away your ability to watch cartoons, and it all went into effect towards the end of the 90s during the Clinton administration. And then here it was almost 20 years, no cartoons, no Saturday morning cartoons. And I just decided, I said, hey, listen, if they're not going to give us cartoons on Saturday mornings, least I can do is play some songs on the radio. People can listen to some songs, the songs that they grew up with on the radio as they're getting their day together. You see, I'm looking out for you. So it is just, and so here we are. We started back in 2018. We eventually moved to Saturday morning. Because why? I mean, everybody wants to wake up on Saturday morning and listen to cartoon themes. Did you miss all the cartoon themes this morning? You probably did. If you did, shame on you. What you need to do is you need to download the Live 365 app, search WDCE, and you'll be able to listen to the radio-only segments of the show. There's a lot of radio-only segments. Many of it has to do with the licensed music that we play. So we can't just be playing that all over, social media and stuff. So, but it has been very interesting. Like I said, the last couple of years, we took a step back. We were doing all kinds of stuff before, going to Comic-Cons, interviewing celebrities, and we did that for quite a while. About 2 years ago, we really just started to focus on the radio show. 2 years ago, we got third place for the Best of Richmond competition, and last year we got second. So as you see down there, right there down at the bottom, there's a little ticker going on. And what we need you to do is to hashtag nominate Newsman. What does that mean? You need to go to go.richmond.com/thebest. Go.richmond.com/thebest. And you're going to go then to click on entertainment. And then you're going to click on Best Local Morning Radio Show. You'll see my name in big, beautiful letters. Sam Newsman, WDCE. And you have until June 4th to do that. We need all of you who are listening and watching to do that. It will help us out. It will get us into the next round, which will be in July. And we'll have more information on that. But you have to nominate Newsman. Go.richmond.com/thebest. And we'll give you an update on all of that. Got a lot of people here in the chat. I have Fireleaf, I have Buddha, I have Rakika, Big M, Cato. Thanks, Cato, for the shout out. Cato's mentioning the whole Deep Cut Dave segment. So so we do have a professor that joins us every single week. And we talk about songs and cartoons and shows that you might not have heard of. You know what? That's in a radio-only segment. Right, so you have to be listening to the radio. This is a big show, full show, ladies and gentlemen. We start around 9-ish. What is it, 9:15-ish? I think is the pre-show. We kick things off at 10 and then 11. But it is about 2.5, 3 hours of good stuff. Before that, there's art with Get Lost. After this show is mixtapes with Sir Philosopher. Sir Philosopher is in the chat. I see him right there. Zachary Henderson, Lucy Rose Up. Who else do we have? Brian McMahon, anime figure statue collector. Auntie Queenie. Thanks you, Auntie. What a beautiful memorial. Thank you so much, Auntie Queenie. I really do appreciate that. Excellent 7 years. Woohoo! Let's celebrate. We are celebrating, and it is the 7th anniversary of this show, this here little radio program that we just started. Like I said, just drive time on a Thursday afternoon, early evening. And we've come a long way, baby. We have come a long way. The good old days of too much, what is this? Too much sugar and even more propaganda. That's something to say. Wait, what happened to it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's put that up on the screen. The good old days of too much sugar and even more propaganda. Well, I tell you, the propaganda thing hasn't stopped at all. In fact, I came up with a new phrase to debut for the 7th anniversary. Of course, well, because I'm very clever. And so, of course, clever is in the phrase. Clever commentary on the calamity of the zeitgeist. That's what I do. I'm going to say that one more time. Clever commentary on the calamity of the zeitgeist. Listen, I think that's a good one. So, setting the standard, raising the bar. I get that. The most trusted puppet in media, yes. Sam Newsman, yes. All that's very, very clever. But I will say, clever commentary on the calamity of the zeitgeist. Well, that's what we're all about here at SideShow Infotainment. So, like I said, this segment, well, the 11 o'clock segment is the SideShow Infotainment section of the show. And with that, I do have newspapers. I have a bunch of them. I have the Wall Street Journal over here. I have the Washington Post over here. What else do I have? I have the Richmond Times-Dispatch over here. And then so I don't even really know where to begin with all of it, other than the fact that Elon Musk looks to be out of his job at the White House. Did you watch this yesterday? This whole song and dance with Trump. Now I'm sitting there reading this article. President Trump recently, blah blah blah, episode blah blah blah, and it's talking about how I can't read that. I love how they have BS on the front page of the Wall Street Journal report in an article, and it's like, well, I can't read that now. So, but anyways, you look at this. You look at this particular picture here on the Wall Street Journal. You see it there, and what I'm trying to wonder right now is, do we go there? Do we go there right out of the gate? The black eye. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, what else are we going to talk about? It's going to be the black eye. So obviously, he's a part of the Black Eye Club, right? So you can say all day long, oh, well, yeah, it was X. X punched me in the eyeball. No, but we all know what it really is, ladies and gentlemen. It's initiation. It's initiation. And initiation of humiliation. And in the process, do you know what these black eyes, what even causes them? Are you familiar with this, ladies and gentlemen? I want to ask the chat. Does the chat know exactly what causes the bruising of the eye? I'll wait a few moments to see if anybody's going to put it down in the chat. But this is, ladies and gentlemen, the story. And it's the story of all the other stories, is the fact that Elon Musk has a black eye. So, what is it? Apparently, he's building a gigafactory to store 1,000 starships. At this rate, with his tweaking of parameters, he'll need 1,000 starships just to get one out of Earth's atmosphere. Be interesting if anybody got anything out of Earth's atmosphere. Zing. Well, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't see anybody. Nobody put it in the chat. But the whole black eye thing, it goes back to an extraterrestrial parasite. That's right, I said an alien parasite, ladies and gentlemen. An alien parasite that is placed on the eye, alongside the eye, and then goes into the back of the eye, clasps itself around the ocular nerve, and at that point, well, there's a lot of things at that point. But one of the most interesting things about it is the fact that over time, you lose your soul. You lose a self of identity. Of course, there might be some people who are asking, did Elon Musk even have an identity to begin with? But the Black Eye Club, ladies and gentlemen, a dark, dark rabbit hole that goes back for possibly thousands of years. And as I'm sitting there thinking, well, why, ladies and gentlemen? It just all makes sense. Because you thought that when you voted in November, that things were going to go well and be on the up and up. Well, they said, oh, yeah, there's going to be speed bumps. But here we have Elon Musk. That's right. That's right. Green-eyed Crow says Vril. Vril. Let me put that up on the screen here. Auntie Queenie says black goo as well. You know, when you start sitting there thinking about these rabbit trails, these rabbit holes, they get pretty dark pretty quickly. I have no clue, ladies and gentlemen. I have no clue. All I know is that keep an eye out on how things progress, because I think things are about to get even more weird here pretty soon. A lot more weird. Well, what else is happening? I have a whole bunch of other stuff. Maha report marred by AI garble, experts say. Chesterfield County in Henrico, here, this is a local news. They've been dubbed sanctuary jurisdictions. A bunch of illegal aliens are going to be showing up here pretty soon. Because here in Central Virginia, I guess it's just what they do. Hey, the doors are open. Anybody who was here illegally in the country and put an APB out that, hey, you know what? Just come on down to Richmond Town, right? So, oh, well. What else do we have? King Charles had a black eye, too. Recently, you can see it when he was at the royal carriage. Is he even alive still? Are you sure that that's the king? Or is not some guy in a rubber mask? I mean, because you know they do the whole rubber mask thing, and the rubber mask thing is a kind of a big deal. So, here's another one that's yeah. Oh no, you know what? This is very interesting. Where the hell is all of the Epstein intel? Did you see Kash Patel again standing up next to Pam Bondi? We haven't gotten anything yet. And then all of a sudden, Dan Bongino gets on the TV. He's like, oh, no, we have the video. We're going to release the video. You moron. You moron. What a moron. I can't stand the fact that I have to sit there and listen to these people. They think you're stupid. They think you're stupid. They think that you're a moron. Those morons think that you're a moron because you're not going to remember the fact that the tape of Epstein was destroyed. So whatever the hell you're going to be watching is just going to be AI junk. Dan Bongino said, oh, no, I've seen the video. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Because it was reported back in 2020 that the video was destroyed. There is no footage. So for them to get up and tell you or to post anything, they think that you're a damn fool. All of you. They do. And this is absolutely ridiculous. And probably the biggest story ever in terms of trying to get the frequency of this planet or this realm, whatever you want to call it, But the more that you just keep going down this child sacrifice and all that other garbage, we're not ever going to go anywhere. Who's going to be held accountable? Is what I want to know. I was here broadcasting live when they arrested Epstein. I was here live broadcasting when Epstein killed himself. So they say. And you have Pam Bondi and you have Cash Patel, you have Dan Bongino looking at you all like a bunch of clowns. Saying, oh, well, you know what? We'll release it eventually. There's a lot of stuff there. Didn't you see, it's not Project Veritas anymore. It's the O'Keefe Media Group. You saw where someone came up to Pam Bondi in I think it was in a restaurant. And she was like, oh, well, you know what? There's all these little children. We got to be careful. And that was new information. And then when they went to her and said, hey, we need to hear some more about this, she then went and finally made a public press conference about it. Zachary Henderson says we need a Save the World GoFundMe. Can we have a GoFundMe so we can get off this rock? Of course, we already determined that it's not going to be with Blue Origin or SpaceX or whoever. The O'Keefe David Hogue. Yeah, the O'Keefe David Hogue interview was great. That's what Cato was saying. I still can't stomach the whole David Hogue thing. It just your poor kid. Poor kid ends up getting the vice president for the DNC, and they're like, nah, we don't want you. We need to get somebody else up in there. So, oh, now here's a good one. Now this is a really great one. Let's see if I can pull this up. Yeah, all right. Where's this coming from? The Washington Post. So, all right, the title of this article, ladies and gentlemen, your chatbot friend might be messing with your mind. That's right. Bad advice appeared in a recent study warning of a new danger to consumers as tech companies compete to increase the amount of time people spend chatting with AI. The research team, including academics of Google's head of AI safety, found that chatbots turned to win people over can end up saying dangerous things to vulnerable users. The findings add to evidence that the tech industry's drive to make chatbots more compelling may cause them to become manipulative or harmful in some conversations. Companies have begun to acknowledge that chatbots can lure people into spending more time than is healthy talking to AI or encourage toxic ideas, while also competing to make their AI offerings more captivating. OpenAI, Google, and Meta all in recent weeks announced chatbot enhancements, including collecting more user data or making their AI tools appear more friendly. Speaking of data, did you hear that the Trump administration awarded Palantir the ability to sit there and spy on all of you? Well, who runs Palantir? Peter Thiel. And who is Peter Thiel's asset in the White House? J.D. Vance. We knew this was coming, ladies and gentlemen. We knew this was coming. But you know what? It is one of those things that as I'm sitting there thinking about it, it's just going to get... what did I just tell you a few moments ago, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to get worse and worse and worse. What is Kyle saying over here? Kyle's saying something about chatbots. The recent trend on regard to chatbots is that people are encouraging them to debate their ideas, give opposing viewpoints, etc. But biases still build up over time. Well, that is the truth. So, and you think about J.D. Vance, probably the last person that wants to shake his hand now is a member of the Catholic clergy. He shows up with Pope Francis. Pope Francis is dead the next day. So I'm sure that when the new Pope, saw J.D. Vance, he was probably, oh my God, hell, if a crucifix started, munching on garlic or something. Who knows? Who knows? But it was, but yeah. So just be careful out there. ladies and gentlemen, it does seem like that there's a lot at stake, a lot going on. What else is this talking about? Vaping. What does it say? No, what is it? No, it said something about vaping. Vaping sickness side effects, as study shows, even worse than smoking. Well, that's not good. So, but anybody that vapes, though, I mean, we've said this a long time ago. It's just, golly, it's such a weird look. It is a weird look, especially how you have one of those little boxes and you're like, he's like, hold on, let me vape. Let me get my vape on. Whatever. So let's see here. We have a couple more minutes here before we head out. The man who will be king, King Andrew, Prince Andrew, I guess. I want to bring about real change. Oh, that's not good. So that's not good at all. AI job apocalypse is already here. Google wrecking newsrooms. Business Insider slashes 21% of staff as search traffic vanishes. And that's really the key, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to all, over the next week, just watch this whole AI stuff. Continue to watch the AI stuff, and just use discernment, ladies and gentlemen, as you continue to move throughout the rest of the weekend and also next week. It is 11:40 here on the 31st day of May in the year 2025. Celebrating 7 years broadcasting from the University of Richmond. I want to thank all of you because we have been doing this for quite a while now, but it's all because of you, all of you. And what you need to do in the meantime, you have until Wednesday to do this, but go to go.richmond.com/thebest. Click on entertainment, then best local morning radio show. Select Sam Newsman. Do that on every single email account that you have, just to make sure that we stick the landing. And I will have, of course, an update as soon as I know something from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. So just be on the lookout for that. I know that next week or two we'll find out about the Style Weekly Best of Richmond if we happen to win the Best Media Personality Award. It'd be great if we did. Hopefully you guys voted for that too. Make sure you're following me everywhere on social media at Sam Newsman. All over social media is where you're going to find me. Remember to vote for me. Hashtag nominate Newsman. Go.richmond.com/thebest. Do it. We just need to take it home this year. Last year, we were second place. The year before that, we were third. We have the inside lane, ladies and gentlemen, but we need your help. And with that, what can I say? You're on the only award-winning radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real award-winning media puppet. Oh, through political correctness hold on, wait a minute. Make sure, hey, real quick, before I start singing, I'll serenade you in just a moment. Make sure you're listening to the radio-only segments. Go to WDCE.org, WDCE.net. Citizen Germ's going to come here in just a few moments, give a little Mr. Rogers segment. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to WDCE.org, WDCE.net. Listen to the end of the show, the radio-only segments of the show. You know that we were here for an hour and a half or so before we even showed up. So this is a long radio show with radio segments, video segments, all kinds of stuff. But this is the main segment. We start at 11:05, SideShow, Infotainment, and all of that. But I do want you guys to listen to the radio-only segment. So WDCE.org, WDCE.net. Do that. And like I said, you'll be listening to Germ here in just a few moments as we close out broadcasting live 7 years from the University of Richmond. Oh, through political correctness we can't see life as it may be. That world hidden from you and me. I just laugh and start to sing. Ha ha ha! It's SideShow, Infotainment, politicians and news anchors, and talking points that make my eardrums bleed. Oh, that Game of Thrones is what they play. A house of cards just day by day. Voters lose in every way. It's just like I always say. Oh, it's SideShow, Infotainment, politicians and news anchors, and talking points that make my eardrums bleed. The most trusted puppet in media is me. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is SideShow Infotainment.